Hey everybody, Rodney and I were just on the board talking to the guides and just a little mini session for ourselves, and then they said they had a topic they wanted to share with you. Welcome to Creative Visions TV. I'm your host Karen Dahlman, and this is my board partner Rodney.
Looking forward to it.
So what they said was this, they said they want to talk about this topic called the space between time. Rodney looks at me like, huh?
Who?
You shake, yeah, we do it, Scooby-Doo? Okay, we're doing it. So the space between time. Let's see what they have to say about that. It's poetic, at least to start, right? Here we go. Okay, shall we? We're ready. Thank you. Oh, and you guys know we've already done our prayer, our circuitry exercise, as well as the raising vibration and breathing. So that we've already done that. W H E R E H E A R T A N D. Okay, that is our message. All right, let's see what they have to say. Where heart and mind meld, all things exist in this, and nothing exists in this space. In this space, you name it, it does not exist until you name it. Or does it exist and has always existed? You are but to identify its existence, or is it not there until you actually create it? The real worlds exist there. Do all things you have read in books? Oh, so do. I think it's, I don't know why, I kind of crossed over it. Oh, as do. I had an AS there, I see. I crossed over my letters, weird. Okay. All things, I'll read this again because I know I'm messing it up right now. As do all things you have read in books, but have not personally experienced. Aliens, unicorns, mermaids. This is a space that all may visit. Your Tesla spent much time here, while others who visited here, but were too ego-driven to stay as long as they needed. Edison was such a person. Are they saying Edison's ego-driven? That's interesting. All right, I'll read it again. Where heart and mind meld, all things exist in this, and nothing exists in this space. In this space,
so they're saying all things exist and nothing exists here?
I think that's what they're saying. That's what they say. All
it's
things
like
exist.
That paradox. All things, yet nothing exists here.
Yeah, all things exist in this, and nothing exists in this space. In this space, you name it. It does not exist until you name it. So, remember, they're talking about the space between time. Doesn't exist unless you name it. So does a tree, when a tree falls in the forest, can you hear it?
So it's there or it isn't there, but it's not, it doesn't, so it isn't there until you name it.
That's it, until you name it, or does it exist and has it always existed? Maybe we just couldn't see it or recognize it. All right, so we'll just go with that till we get.
So it sounds like there's options they're giving you.
Yeah, it sounds like it sounds like it's the creatrix of the world. It's everything's contained, but nothing's there at all until you actually name it, till you actually participate with it. So nothing happens unless you're the observer. The observation in itself affects the outcome. Is what's happening here. So I think they're getting into physics here, quantum physics. So let's do it again. Where heart and mind meld, all things exist in this, and nothing exists in this space. In this space, you name it. It does not exist until you name it. That makes sense to me. And this is, they're giving you a physical place too between your heart and mind. Okay. But, or does it exist and has always existed? You are but to identify its existence.
Oh, so it's there, it's not there, but it's always been there.
Until you observe it.
Until you observe it.
And name it.
Yeah, but the first time it's, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so we're going real esoteric today, I guess.
Sorry.
Well, I can't apologize for them, can you?
No, I'm sorry that I don't always get it.
This is not easy to get, you guys. Okay, you are but to identify its existence, or it is not there until you actually create it. The real world.
So that's a third option.
Well,
either it's not there till you name it.
Okay.
It's always there, but you have to identify it, or it's not there until you actually create it.
Until you actually create it.
Sounds like a third option.
So you're a creatrix. You're a creator, a creatrix. You have to get
Interesting.
You have to get the mix to this. And remember, this is the time. This is the space between time. This is the space. Remember that, the space between time.
I hope we're pulling it. I mean, this is my favorite part, by the way. Pulling this stuff apart and seeing it right down to the words.
Yeah.
Of each word, but I think they just gave us 3 options.
I think so too. I think that was good. The real worlds exist there. So they're saying worlds. They're not saying singular world. They're saying the real worlds exist there in this space between time. As do all things you have read in books, but have not personally experienced, such as aliens, unicorns, mermaids. This is a space that all may visit. Your Tesla spent much time here, while others who visited here but were too ego-driven to stay as long as they needed. Edison was such a person. So
they're saying that, I think are they comparing Tesla with Edison, saying Tesla spent a lot of time here
because he was not ego-driven,
and yet he knew how to get here. Edison knew how to get here, but he was so ego-driven he didn't spend enough time to.
Well, I don't know why some get to stay, some don't get to stay, but I think you're onto something there. Yeah, they're saying Tesla and Edison both went there. I think any great thinker, that's going to affect humanity in the ways that they do, have to go to the space between time to pull up new ideas, right? Tesla lived, he was 120 years ahead of himself, if not more than that. He was way ahead of himself. And so was Edison. But there was I did remember reading about some stuff about Edison and fighting with Tesla a little bit because he took Tesla's stuff and wanted to claim it himself and all that stuff. So maybe I think they're saying Edison was an ego-driven person.
But I also think they're saying that all ideas.
Yes.
I think they're unique in that they understood where they were.
Yes, they knew how to get there. Period.
But we come up with an idea. And there's many creations out there, right? Many inventions that people come up with these ideas. Mm-hmm. That's where the ideas are. That's
where everything is.
And did they go there to find it? Did they go there to name it? Did they go there to identify it?
Right.
Right. But they have it, and it's there. It's theirs.
Well, think about it. Einstein used to take naps. And so maybe during his naps, and so did Tesla, maybe that's when they went and were able to pull up this information. But whether they called it the space between time, that part doesn't matter so much.
Somebody invented a hanger. Yeah. I think they're saying it came from there.
Anything can come from there.
Right? Yeah. All things come from there, and all things...
It's where they said the real worlds exist there. And then they said plural again, so we're not talking about one world. They were talking about the mythological characters too. They're talking about aliens, unicorns, mermaids. That this is a space where they all exist.
Even the
I think
authors that wrote of unicorns and dragons.
Well, they probably slipped into those spaces and experienced them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, this is the ability to go in and out of. Would you call that tune in and out of a frequency, or maybe just be one off enough to experience or see a spirit, enough to maybe experience or see a UFO, a craft, or even a unicorn. People write about these things, and they had to write it as metaphors and stories, and in order to hide it.
I wonder if it's a transition area too. I mean, like UFOs. Do they? I mean, some alien. Some alien race has a greater knowledge of it, and they can come through there to where we are. And instead of traveling great distances
So it's like
in
time travel.
spaceships.
Like time travel? Okay, so I see it as phasing. It's phased in or phased out of our third dimension here, whether we phase in or phase out, and we could phase into it. So I think without even going anywhere in your mind, between they said this, it's in between the mind and the heart, we can tap into this space where all of these worlds exist, all the ideas in the worlds exist, but it doesn't exist until you name it or identify it, able to go there,
or
recognize
create it.
And create
Name
it.
it, identify it,
And
or
create
create it. So you either naming it, but it looks like three different...
But it's still there no matter what.
Or not there.
Or not there until you're there.
Yeah. I love the
Oh my
paradox.
gosh, you guys. Yeah, it is a totally paradoxical topic. Well, great. Let me see if I have anything else to say about this. All right, just maybe a little bit more. If you have anything else to say. S, U, S, P, E, N, D. Okay. They just said to follow up, suspend your limited beliefs and begin to experience this space with every idea and thought and believe within your heart and mind. No limitations. Allow yourself to go into a space where you believe that every answer's there, everything that can be created, everything that you're working on, it's all of it's right there. And just you got to believe that though. And they said with the very ideas and thoughts, and believe within your heart and mind. That's what they started. That's where all this exists. To get in that space between your heart and mind.
That's heavy.
You can go there.
That's it. Well,
you can go there too.
You know, you have to think that we've all had ideas.
Yeah.
You know, I had a friend that when his kids were born, he's my age, and when his kids were born, he put him in the car, and he hated the sun coming through the window and beating down on his kids in the car seat. So what he did is he had an old window shade that he cut, and he drew cartoon characters on these window shades himself, and put him in the car and pulled the shades down. And now you see that it was a bit, if he'd have...
Yeah, they have a little...
That invention.
Suction cups now.
Yeah, and if he'd have done that, he'd have been a multi-millionaire if he'd have marketed
Coulda, woulda, but didn't.
But I'm just saying, he was in that space when he created that.
But you know what though, I think...
But somebody else went there and named it, or created it, or...
Well, yeah, but that's also because he probably didn't believe in himself, that he could follow through with the ideas, didn't know where to go to get it marketed or packaged or created. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of pieces to this.
Sure, but I just think that...
But this is what I'm hearing them say. It's beyond just getting an idea and something new that you're going to take to market. I really think what they're saying is, in your life, to really open yourself up to all kinds of experiences by letting go of the limitations that keep you from maybe having these experiences. And they're saying it's the space between your heart and mind where all of the worlds, all of your experiences exist, and that's where you can create what you want. That's where you can shift what you want. That's where you can pull in these ideas. That's where you manifest. That's where you find your answers. It's within that space. I think that's what I'm getting.
It's a whole lot bigger than where I was.
Well, I know, but that's okay, because we do get... You're thinking of Tesla because he had ideas and he marketed them and, and patented them, and then they took them from him and all these things. But I'm also thinking, let's look at the bigger picture here of our whole lives, that you are a creator. You are a creator, a creatrix of your life, and you create your
Fun fact.
world.
Fun fact.
Okay, what's your fun fact?
I just did a show in New York at the New Yorker Hotel, which is the hotel that Tesla died, and the FBI came in and took all his stuff.
Right, okay.
I didn't know that till I was there. And
I knew he was at that hotel.
I didn't realize that was the hotel until I was there, and they said, hey, this is where Tesla, blah, blah. I went, oh my God. Then all of a sudden it felt different.
You brought this energy back with you then.
Maybe.
That's what I don't know. It's strange when they do come through with messages. It's something always so connected to everybody. So always connected to you guys too, to us. But this is good. This is actually asking us to feel empowered to begin to, I don't know, understand more about the world around us, and that we're such a part of that world. We're part of that naming game. We're part of that world that creates.
I'd be curious how many people, when they first started watched the video, if anybody thought, oh, that sounds like Tesla. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just be curious if
before I was able to read
the name. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. I don't know if I thought that or not.
I didn't.
I was just going. It's a paradox, like you said, and let's get this what this paradox is about. But that's interesting. So yeah, leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. You never know what's going to come through. When it's always positive, of course, but we never know what type of message they're going to bring forth. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that was
interesting.
Yeah, really, really interesting. I mean, it seems to me there's a lot more that can be done on that subject.
Oh yeah, you know how we could do this for another 4 hours and then end up with like a whole book, basically. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for subscribing, liking this channel, and being a part of this channel and this group. And leave your comments below. We'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.